back, ladies and gentlemen. On this week's podcast, we had the pleasure of sitting down with Ty, aka It's UKnew, or actually UKnew.
No, just UKnew.
Yeah, UKnew.
Minor Instagram plug though, and indirectly.
That's his Instagram. It's at It's UKnew, UKnew. But yeah, super cool producer out in Vegas. We got a lot of guys from Vegas these past couple of weeks. It's kind of funny, but
it's been cool.
They're all right out there on the strip. He's played every single venue out there. And we talk about a bunch of cool stuff, kind of a bit about himself, how he got started, what kind of music he plays, and like why he plays that type, like house mainly.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about like we go through a range of things, but like Vegas in general,
Some
how
advice
different
for like new producers and stuff, like things to like look for, management or not management, stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. Whether or not a manager is helpful, and like maybe for you as an artist. And what it's like out in Vegas, just like life-wise, the difference between East and West Coast dispensaries. It's actually kind of funny.
Yeah, that was fun to talk about, actually.
Yeah, and some projects he has coming up. And really cool guy. Does all of his own artwork too for his singles and whatnot. Does all the mixing and mastering, basically like full production.
Yeah, really talented guy, because it's not a lot of people do that where they mix and master themselves and actually have the mastering sound really good. So
yeah,
props to UKnew.
He won. He talks about how he won the Discovery Project and how he got to open on the main stage at a pretty massive Insomniac festival.
Yeah,
which is super really cool. And you got to meet a bunch of cool artists. But yeah, all that and more on this episode. Enjoy.
Dude, I actually saw you recently did what you call the last dab challenge or whatever.
Oh yeah,
dude, wasn't it brutal?
It's the worst, right?
You guys did it too?
Yeah, we actually. So we did a podcast episode a while ago, and we went through a lineup of their sauces, and honestly, I think the one that burnt us out was Da Bomb.
Yeah.
So that
one sucked.
We did Da Bomb, and like crying, dude. Like I couldn't, like it fucked us up for literally like 10 minutes. I could barely talk. And then I think by the time we got to the last dab, I just like couldn't taste anymore. And it was just like it was bad, but I think we were already ruined from Da Bomb, that like we didn't have any taste buds left, dude. It's brutal.
It's too much. I bought the wing pack from Walmart because I think the lineup of sauce is like 180 or something, right? So it only came with 3. Came with like classic, a medium, and then straight to the last dab. First one, good. Medium, not bad. And then I took the last dab, and it went from a 0 to a million like super quick.
Dude,
like,
it's crazy.
And it's like, I don't know, that one, like I handle spice pretty well. Like I like spicy food, and like I just like ate it and just didn't say a word for like 20 minutes.
Yeah,
I just kind of sat there. It was just quiet. And then, it burned so bad that the next one I was like, I don't even feel this anymore. You know what I mean?
It was just brutal, man.
Yeah.
It's a tough right? I can't believe people go on there and do interviews like that. That's definitely a pretty crazy way to do an interview.
I was thinking about it yesterday. I feel like the last dab is kind of a marketing scheme in a way.
Yeah.
I feel like they use like a fake sauce, so they get like this hype built around it.
Oh, that's kind of funny. My dad kind of feels the same way about Pawn Stars. He swears that it's just a set. He's like, there's
really?
no way. He's like, it can't be real.
That's one of like the most boring like tourist attractions, believe it or not, here in Vegas.
Oh, you can actually like go visit there. It's not just a set. Yeah. I can tell my dad it's real.
Yeah, it's a real store. But you're gonna be probably waiting outside an hour just to get in, and then when you get in, it's like like 1,000 square feet. It's not even that big.
It's just a pawn shop.
Yeah, it's just a pawn shop.
Yeah, and there's not much to walk around. It's just like a scam, basically.
Yeah.
Wow.
I could see like they probably just cashed out after that show.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Oh yeah.
Wait a minute. So are you in Vegas too?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's so now do you know Talons as well?
Yeah, Tyler?
Yeah. That's so funny. All you guys know each other. That's so cool.
That. It's like a small community. Well, you guys you also played the kids at Heart Show, right?
Yeah.
Very nice. Very
So
nice.
how many people were on that set list?
It was Everlove, which I'm sure you guys had on here, right?
Yeah. We just had him
Yeah,
on.
episode just dropped yesterday.
Yeah, so Dean, and then after Dean was me, and then Plumpy, and then Soul. She's like a local DJ here.
Cool. Very nice.
It was like a four person lineup. It was pretty fun. Loved it.
Yeah, that looked like a pretty crazy club, man. We definitely got to get out there because the nightlife obviously is just not comparable to anything out here, for sure.
Where are you located?
So we're in Connecticut. And I think like probably the biggest clubs around here are going to be at your casinos.
Yeah, it's at the casinos. Like, I don't know if you've ever been. Have you ever been to the East Coast?
No, I have family in Connecticut. I'm not sure where, and I have family in Queens.
Okay.
Oh wow. Well, funny that you have family in Connecticut. I feel like it's very rare that we find anyone that's like Connecticut.
Yeah, it's super random.
But
funny. Yeah, I mean, like besides like the one thing about Connecticut is like those two casinos. I mean, Foxwoods in particular is like the biggest casino in the country. Like the ones in Vegas are like cooler and that they're all like themed and whatnot. Like, and Foxwoods is pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's enormous though. You could definitely get lost in that place. Yeah,
it's a literal city. If you park in the wrong garage,
dude, it's like a 40-minute.
Yeah, it's like a whole 40-minute ordeal just to get to where you're actually trying to go.
Let me ask you this: what's the price of a Jack and Coke out there at a club?
That's a good question. Probably like $11, $12.
Yeah, probably. It depends on the club, I guess. But yeah, why? What's it over there?
I went to Hakkasan a couple years ago, and I saw Cash. I got 2 Jack and Cokes, and I ended up paying $45.
Oh, what? Okay, maybe if there's a concert, they probably, dude, but that's crazy.
Yeah, they probably jack up the price for a concert. I'm trying to think like, the concerts where they charge like $10 for a water.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
Wait, did you actually,
do.
did you go to EDC Vegas?
This year?
Yeah.
So I didn't go this year because I just got a new job and I'm trying to like do good in that, and stay consistent, like a little plan B. But yeah, I didn't go this year.
Yeah. Yeah. You didn't want to like leave work on the first weekend and roll face and come back and like, hey man, what the hell's wrong with you?
That's probably a good call. What's your, so you said you just got a new job. What are you doing outside of DJing?
I work at a dispensary actually.
Oh, wow.
Do you work at the same one?
Is Everlove?
Yeah.
Dean?
Do you know which one he works at?
No, I kind of forget now.
I don't know the actual name of it.
Yeah. He probably didn't tell us on purpose, but yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy to think that like we now live in a time where you can work at a weed store and it's perfectly legal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's so insane. Like, so I work for the Native American tribe, the Paiute tribe. So It's owned by the Indians, the Native Americans, and like their rules are like way different from like the whole state rules from like California or Texas or anywhere else it's legalized. Yeah,
what is it
weird.
like? How's it different?
It's not federal and they don't have any taxes there. So there's like no change at all. It's all just straight dollars.
Wow. That's really interesting.
And their growing operation is very different from like regular like growing cultivations from like other, I would say, companies here.
Mm-hmm.
So they could grow more, they could do more, just because of their who they are.
That's true. I mean, I guess if it's on their land, like it's kind of their own. Because like it's the same reason why they can have casinos for the most part is like, because it's really not. It's like really not allowed, save for on Native American, like I guess reservations or just land.
Yeah.
Like that, which is exactly why like they're all owned by the tribes. Like around here, we got the Pequot tribe.
Yeah, that's right. And, is that who owns Foxwoods?
I think so. I don't remember if it's Foxwoods or Mohegan, but I think it's two separate tribes. One owns
Mohegan, one owns Foxwoods. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Well, dude, I'm actually really curious. How did you even get into making EDM at all? Or did you start off like making EDM, or did you like start off in some other music sector?
I started off in electronic music.
Really? Wow. That's, you know what? Pretty unique, because I feel like I hear a lot of EDM artists that were like, they played guitar in a band or they did this in a band, and then eventually they kind of land into EDM world. So did you start way earlier or later?
I started early. Like I started producing at like 14.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I was producing in Logic Pro like 6 or 7, I believe, on like a 2010 Mac that was super thick.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know what sidechaining was. I was just putting like 7 channel tracks together and putting them on SoundCloud.
Wow.
Dude, I forgot SoundCloud was a thing like back then. Like I don't even
SoundCloud's been around for a while.
I'm gonna take a minute to move this real quick so I can plug my phone if that's okay.
Oh yeah, totally cool, man.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
Interview.
No, it's fine. It's like it's just kind of crazy to think that you were that young making music, because so many people start later in life, and I think it's like one of the best decisions ever to like start younger, because the younger you start, the better off you're going to be as an adult. You know, sometimes people wait for far too long before they actually decide to do it. Now, I guess the thing with music is that you really have to want to do it, you know?
Yeah. You definitely have to give up friends and relationships and free time.
Yeah, just to learn the craft.
It's also super like, you go to just learn the DAW up front and it's like reading Chinese. You're like, what the hell's going on? I don't know what any of this is. Like I remember I downloaded, I think maybe I was in middle school or something, or early high school, and I downloaded like FL Studio, and it, like I don't remember who. I think maybe my cousin used it or something, and I remember opening it up, and I was like, I don't know what any of this is, and there wasn't any YouTube videos really or anything, so I was like, okay, kind of just shut it down, and I'm like moved on, and
I remember because Johnny downloaded Fruity Loops, and I was like, what the fuck? Because I started on Cubase, and I still use I still use Cubase to this day. Pretty much the reason why is because Joey Sturgis, who's like this big metal producer, he did like the Devil Wears Prada and Asking Alexandria, all those bands, and he had Cubase, and so I was like, oh, I got to get what the Sturge has. So I got Cubase, and I never looked back. But do you still produce in Logic these days?
I do not. I actually switched. So I produced for about like a year on my own without any tutorials or any help from anybody, and then I met my best friend Type 3. Jesse Tarango, and he was like, hey man, you're out here making moves in Vegas, and like I'm out here doing like the producing stuff, like let's exchange like DJ skills for producing skills. And I'm like, all right, let's do it. And we were friends, but we weren't like very close yet. I hung out with him one day, brought my CDJ like 800s over to his house and DJM 400, and we hung out that day, and then ever since that day I was there every day for like 5 years. Damn, like I never missed a day. Yeah, and we just grinded, and now we're both on Insomniac. We're both doing like great things, in the music world.
That's cool, man. It's like I feel like it's better with a buddy, like it's like somebody to bounce ideas off of, and also like I don't know, it's almost like when we would study back in the day. You know what I mean? Like it was always better just like having somebody there, like doing it with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, and sometimes I think in the process of like talking things out, you like, oh shit, that's a good idea. You know, you do that a lot. And yeah, that's wicked cool, dude. Now, wait a minute. Insomniac, you mentioned that. What is that? Because I actually don't know what that is. Because I only know Insomniac as in like, the people that made Spider-Man, the video game.
So Insomniac is the people that throw EDC, Nocturnal, Beyond, and all that.
It's a label.
Okay.
Not a label, but like
the almost like a coordination company, kind of like they coordinate events and whatnot.
Yeah, they have a Insomniac events, and then they have Insomniac Records, and then they have sub labels under that. They have like In Rotation, and they have Discovery Project.
They have like A&Rs and stuff too.
Oh, awesome!
Yeah,
that's super cool, man. So when did you start working with them?
So I actually won the Discovery Project in December.
I saw that. I was going to ask about that. What is that?
So the Discovery Project, Insomniac started doing that in 2012, I believe, or 13. The first winners were Dr. Fresh and Say My Name. And basically you enter an original track in a 30-minute mix. And basically you enter for like a festival slot of opening like the main stage. And if you get picked, you basically get put on by them. You get to release an original track on one of their labels, and then they give you the full publishing deal and promotion on the track.
Dude, that's dope. That sounds like a fantastic. So you won that?
Yeah, I won that in December.
Woo! Damn,
that's
dude.
Wild. Yeah.
Fuck, hold up. Dude, that's sick. Wow.
So what was the what's the spot that you get slotted into? Like, what would you? Because you said they put you in a festival, or
Yeah. So I entered their countdown one. It's their festival they throw every year at the end of the year for New Year's. They do it the day before New Year's and then New Year's Day, or
Wow.
New Year's night, and then January 1st.
Okay.
And it's a 2-day
sick.
festival at a NOS Event Center in California. They change the venue sometimes, but they book like whoever's available. I think this year it was like Showtech, Tiesto, Kai Watch, Matroda, Maxwell Teeth, Blossom. They were just tons
that's
of
sick.
people.
Yeah.
So where were you in the lineup for that show? Like, did you open, or did you have just kind of like a random, like, cool time slot to be in?
So I opened the main stage on January 1st.
Yo,
Dude,
that's crazy.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and then after me was Kapazi. And then after Kapazi was Tsunami. And then after that, that's when it started getting into like the bigger guys, you know?
Dude, that's wild though. That's
Yeah.
huge. That must have been so cool. Like, was it probably the biggest show that you've done so far, or what?
Oh yeah, for sure. It was, yeah, definitely. Cause it was cool to like be backstage and see like Matroda, Nitty Gritty, and like, you know, all them. It was really cool.
So did you get to like meet any of them, or just walk around and like, I guess, what's the vibe like backstage at a thing like that? You know what I mean? Is everybody doing their own
Believe
thing?
it or not, yeah, everyone's in their own circle, but like you could walk up to anybody at any time and everyone's really friendly. I actually had no problems with anybody. And I have kind of a friendship with Matroda. Went up to him, we hung out, talked, took pictures, hung out with Borgor, hung out with Nitty Gritty.
Dude, that's nuts.
I said what's up to Riot 10. He's actually like really, really fucking nice of a person. I was not expecting that, but he's very nice.
Yeah, I feel like there's kind of it's almost like the you know, you kind of have this like thought in your mind that it's going to be more intimidating than it really is, or someone's going to treat you differently. You know, maybe because you're newer, or like, you know, whatever, you're not like at the same popularity as them, but then you find out they're actually like really cool people.
Yeah, I've had my fair share of bad encounters with DJs. You know, there's good ones and bad ones out there, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think is like a defining characteristic of someone who's like, who is like, quote, bad? Is it just that they're like, you know, like they're just like, they kind of like treat you like dirt, their nose is up, like they're doing this? Yes, sure.
Yeah, I think it's not hard. Just like be like, oh, you're human, I'm human. Let's just talk, you know, and be normal. You know, there's no need for like the ego or none of that. I don't know. I don't think it's cool.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's funny that you get a lot of the similar things in the acting world too. I get a lot of really good responses from like crew members, like gaffers and grips, which is like lighting and setup. That they're surprised how like friendly and talkative I am to them, because I guess a lot of actors will get on set and just like kind of treat them like they're just, you know, peasants on set. And I think, you know, oftentimes we forget like these are all just like, they're all just people, you know, they're all just human beings just like you and I. And a lot of them are wicked funny, dude. I made a lot of friends with a bunch of stunt actors that are funny guys, man. But so as far as like, I've been seeing first of all, I listened to your playlist on Spotify, Rips.
Yeah.
That's a lot of fun.
Cool.
That 8-bit song, dude. I was telling Adam earlier.
Gym this morning, actually.
Yeah. I was telling Adam. Sometimes when I listen, especially to EDM music, I try to picture, could the song be in a film somehow? And that 8-bit song, I could totally see in like one of those like
like a John Wick club fight scene type thing.
That's right. Like he walks into a club and 8-bit's playing right before he fucking knocks some guys out. You know what I mean?
I'd love to have my music in like movies and what's it called, like commercials and stuff like that, or like even like a little 15-second movie or fight scene, club scene.
Yeah.
But that's a whole nother world when it comes to like distribution and stuff, and it's just wild.
I was gonna say, like, how do you even get slotted in something like that? Do they have to literally just somebody for the movie who's doing A&R type work pick out songs, or?
I was hanging out with a friend of mine named Angel. He produced Donda, the first one, with his friend Dawson.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, they produced and engineered Donda for Kanye, and I was hanging out with them about last year on this time, and we were at their studio called Junction Sound here in Vegas, and Angel had the opportunity to do music for Space Jam 2. And
that's dope.
Wow.
yeah, we were hanging out, and the A&R for the whole movie production shot over like a piece of paper of every genre that they wanted, the BPM, the vibe. So like they said vibe, and it would be like dancey or happy. Hold on, excuse me. And so we worked on that. I did a couple tracks, but nothing made it through. Those movie guys are really biggie.
Yeah.
Sure.
And like, you got to think too, I'm sure it's like a massive catalog of songs, and it's like, one just kind of might be placed on top of the other. But that's crazy. How'd you meet that guy, Angel?
So I had an old manager, and I was with him for like 2 years, and he was just a man. I feel like, most managers nowadays, they just are there for like connections to connect you with other people.
Yeah.
Right.
And I knew about Angel, but I didn't know how to reach out, because he he engineers and produces hip hop and rap and R&B, and I'm doing like house and electro and stuff. And I was like, I don't know how I could reach out and tie those worlds together.
Right.
So my old manager introduced us, and we just started kicking it and hanging out. And then from there, he just started giving me he started calling me on his own. Hey man, I'm in the studio. I got an artist here. She wants like a poppy house record. Like, could you come and like co-produce some stuff for me? And I'm like, yeah, cool. So
That's dope.
Our relationship just went from there.
Wow, dude. So you got to co-produce with this guy. How was that? How was that experience? Was the first time nerve-wracking, or like, how'd you feel about it?
Yeah, because I'm one of those people that I need to produce like by myself. I can't have people around or in the room. Yeah, I just can't do it. So at first, I was pretty nervous. I was like doing like MIDI notes and stuff, and I was putting them out of key, and I was like, oh my God, like, can you just leave the room for like 20 minutes?
Oh, no, yeah.
And he left. He came back. I had it whipped up, but unfortunately, all the stuff that we worked on never got released. I don't think it'll ever be released, but it was still a cool experience, I
was going to say, because you said he does like hip hop and stuff. Like, were you guys working on a song that was like a hip hop type song, or?
No, but he was taking a lot of the stems he had, because he's more of a mixing, mastering person.
Okay.
So he has tons of stems from R&B to trap to drill, like, yes, even pop stuff. And we would just take stems all the time for fun and just turn it into like liquid drum and bass, or like be like, oh, let's see how fast we can flip these vocals real quick and do like a little 7-minute idea.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Your style seems to be rooted in drum and bass. Is that like, now obviously you like that style, but did it take you a little bit to kind of find that niche for yourself, or like
drum and bass?
Like, how do I isn't that what it's called? Like D&B?
Yeah.
Is that, am I mischaracterizing your style a bit? That might be my bad.
Oh, no. I mean, I mainly make house, but the drum and bass stuff, I've been making it for like 4 or 5 years, but I've never dropped any until this year, actually.
Oh, okay. So wait a minute, and help me out here, because I could definitely use a little bit of education. Is that song 8-bit? Is that more drum and bass, or is that more house?
I mean, in my opinion, it's considered midget house. So like blog house stuff. So stuff with like, that would be like kind of like fit like Duck Sauce, Dog Blood. Who else is another? There's Bot, Astronomar. They used to do a bunch of the blog house, A-Track, all that, back in the day.
Okay. Yeah, what's funny is I there's a lot of parallels with EDM music and metal, where like metal music has like subgenre after subgenre. And someone on the outside would be like, oh yeah, that's that screamo stuff. But that's like, there's a big difference between Whitechapel and Asking Alexandria.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm still trying to learn all like the little categories and stuff. But yeah, I mean, like, when you first started, did you kind of see a path for yourself? Like, oh, this makes sense to me, as opposed to like, cause you meet someone like, for example, we know this guy, Liney, and he likes a lot more of these like melodic, like almost like Illenium. I don't want to say Illenium because exactly, but you know, those kind of like it centers around a vocal and then it has like a little break part. Now, what kind of made you go more the house route?
So I grew up on like Dead Mouse, Adam K and Soho, Cascade, like a bunch of nostalgic progressive house, which is very melodic. But the house route, I would say, is because I heard, I think it was like 2011, 2012, Animals was coming out or came out as an ID for Martin Garrix. And that just changed the world for me. Like after hearing Animals and hearing like the Big Room, I was like, oh, club music is where it's at.
Yeah.
Right.
And I went from club music, and then I found like Kreider, Tom Starr, Steve Angelo. Like they call it the groove or groove house. It's like a big kind of like a European genre that they do a lot. And I found that, and I went from groove to house. But I would consider all that house because it falls right back to that house, main point.
Very cool.
So do you like when we had on Everlove, he was saying like he played like there's a lot of clubs around you guys. There's like a handful of them. Like I think he was saying like Disco Pussy was like one of his favorite ones to play because he just really liked the venue. But like, do you play like a lot of the clubs in the areas? And have you played with any of those guys? Like I know they have like a little group of. It's kind of like a studio, like a shared studio area. There seemed like there's like 7 or 8 guys in there.
Yeah, so it's on Fremont Street. Have you guys ever been to Vegas or no?
Not when I was like a kid and not old enough to have fun in Vegas.
Yeah, I went with a girlfriend at the time and I was 18. So, I need to go back as like an actual adult.
Yeah.
Definitely need to go back.
So Fremont Street, it's where like the neon LED screen is that everybody walks under.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's a little further down. It's not under the neon, but same street, Fremont. You walk down and there's like 7, 8 clubs on each side, and the sidewalks are just packed. It's about 10 minutes from the strip, but that's where all the clubs are, where they throw all the shows. There's Disco Pussy right there. There's Commonwealth. They just opened We All Scream. There's Triple B's, I believe, on the corner. And then down the street, there is another venue. But yeah, there's tons of venues right there. And that's where they throw like all the shows.
Nice. Do you have a favorite out of the bunch?
Actually, I like Downtown Event Center, which is not right on Fremont. It's actually like 2 blocks away. It's just a big festival ground where they throw all the like big concerts that they bring.
So it's outdoor.
Yeah, outdoor and indoor. They build tents in the wintertime for the indoor shows.
How cold does it actually get? Because Nevada, I mean, like I just remember being a desert. Does it just like, is it pretty parallel to?
I think at night it gets pretty cold, right? I mean,
in the summertime at night, it drops to like 70s.
Okay.
But in the wintertime, our highs in the day are like 50, 55.
Okay.
And at nighttime, it's like 30 degrees.
Okay.
Oh, man.
So it's pretty chilly. It's like a fall day here, like a late fall day, I guess.
yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty crazy. Yeah. I can see why you like that though. Like, is there like lawn seating and stuff at that kind of a venue?
Lawn seating? What is lawn seating?
Lawn as in like grass.
Well, I don't know.
Oh, lawn. Okay. Yeah, the whole venue is just literally like a big square. I don't know how big it is. It's really fucking big, and it's just awesome, like grass, like synthetic grass.
Oh, very cool.
Have you played most of the venues on that strip, like on Fremont?
Yeah, I played them all.
That's kind of
That's really cool.
Yeah, I don't. To be honest, I haven't played a show here in Vegas in close to a year, actually.
Really?
Besides, the first one that I played, a week ago was the first one in like close to a year.
Wow. Is that like out of like a COVID thing, or is that more so just like you've been writing in the studio, or?
A little bit of writing music, trying to get my adult life together, and there's a lot of politics here, believe it or not. So I try to just avoid it.
Okay.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Have you been playing shows like outside of Vegas, like traveling at all?
Yeah, I played in LA with Space Yacht. They were one of the first people to bring me to LA. I opened, I did I forgot what series it was, but it was like 2-3 years ago. I think it was their first ever bass house event. I opened, and then after me was Saint Punk, and then after him was these guys from Australia, and then after him was Martin Horger.
Oh, yeah.
And then my good friend Candle. So it was like 5 of us on it. After I played for Space Yacht, I went back about 2-3 weeks later. My friend Candle, he owns a company and a label called Low Freaks out of LA, and he brought me out for a headlining show. And then a month or two later, I ended up getting booked in San Diego, Pacific Beach with my good friends, Dos Lonely Boys. I played San Diego. And that's really it. I've only played San Diego and LA so far.
So, like outside of Vegas, that is?
Yeah.
What do you like better, LA or San Diego?
That's a good question.
Oh, I like LA.
Okay.
See, I know everybody's always bitching about LA traffic and stuff, but I had a ton of fun when I went to LA. It's like super nice, like out in Santa Monica and just on the Venice Beach area. Just ripping around on those scooters. It was a ton of fun.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go back. I've only been to LA once, but we recently did a San Diego trip, and I absolutely love San Diego, but it seems like LA is definitely a pretty sick spot.
Yeah, because nothing against them, but when I played in Pacific Beach, it's more of like a ritzy kind of town. I feel like college town.
Yeah,
and there's like a lot of college kids, and they just get like, there's nothing wrong with drinking, but they get too sloshed to the point where it's like, all right, this is just like out of line.
Yeah. It is kind of funny how like a college kid is just determined to get blackout. You know, it's funny. Like I'm not a huge drinker myself. But even when I was like, even back in college time, not that I was even huge back then, but I've just never blacked out. I've never had a desire to black out from drinking. I just find the whole thing to be just like, the idea of like throwing up and spinning around in your bed.
You never want to black out. It just sometimes it happens. You know what I mean? It just
sometimes you just fall down the slippery slope of blacking out. Oh,
anytime anyone that wants to black out is just really going through some shit.
Yeah.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Yeah, definitely. Oh man, I never like it's happened to me before, but never intentionally. You know what I mean? I've never been like, that's it.
All right, time to go for it.
Yeah. What's like the alcoholic beverage or like drink on the East Coast over there? Like your guys' go-to or everybody's go-to?
Oh man, that's tough because we're like tequila boys, so we end up drinking more like tequila-based drinks.
But I mean, I don't know. In college, maybe like a Long Island iced tea.
Oh yeah, dude. College, it was definitely a Long Island iced tea, dude.
Which is like, it's not a real drink. If you go to an actual place that serves adults, and you're not outside of a college campus, and you ask for one, they were like, "What the hell's wrong with you?"
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I remember my mind being blown that Long Island iced tea didn't have tea in it either. I was like, what? Why do they call it Long Island iced tea? And why does it taste like tea?
Yeah, it's just alcohol.
It's just all alcohol and a little splurts of soda.
I just found that out from watching Bar Rescue.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that show's pretty funny.
Oh, shit. Dude, I'm curious though. So as an artist, what's like something that you find yourself either getting hung up on when you're in the process of writing, and then something that you really excel at? So like, for example, just to get your mind cooking, and I gave this example last time, but I have a buddy who's really, really good at writing choruses to songs. So this guy can whip up a chorus every day of the week, and it usually sounds really, really good. But he can never finish a song because he has a really tough time connecting the choruses together with verses and bridges. Do you find that there's anything like that you sort of have to work at as an artist? Whether that's a production side thing too, it could be anything.
Oh yeah, everyone has like their pros and cons of producing, you know. Like for me, personally, when I work on solo stuff, I can bang out a track like start to finish, like full extended mix, like a 4-minute track. And depending on what it is, if it's like some basic, like nothing complex, but like a really good tech house track, like for instance, what's something I wrote that like Hit the Club, I think I wrote in like 7 hours.
Oh man.
But the mixing process took like a month. That's my downfall, mixing. Yeah. My downfall though as a musician is mixing and mastering. I'm I'm really big on doing everything in house for myself.
I was gonna say, like, do you ever outsource like mastering or something like that? Like,
No. And if I do, I've only done it maybe once or twice. And if I do, I just go to Type 3. I don't go to anybody else.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, that's your buddy that you kind of worked up with, right?
Yeah.
I do. So I've been mixing and mastering for a while, but it's more so for like rock genre and like pop punk and stuff like that. I do some hip hop stuff as well. But I always really like sending my stuff out for professional mastering. There was always something that was just something like I could always quote master, but I don't think I ever really perfected the skill. And so I always tend to outsource that because I don't know, maybe it's just like in my mind, I'm like, oh, a fresh set of ears will, help out any sort of like last little bits that I can't seem to really attain. Yeah, I mean, dude, the mixing process can take forever. I feel like, especially with EDM, when, not every song is like this, but, if you got like 50 tracks going and you got rises and swells and reverse things, and I can only imagine the level of complexity that goes into making a really good EDM song.
Oh, yeah, it can get very complex. I actually keep my channels. I think the most I've ever used is probably like 64 channels.
Okay.
But
still quite a bit.
I keep my track. Yeah, I keep my tracks anywhere between, as of lately, like 27, 28 to like 40, 42.
Yeah. Now, do you find that you end up pulling like, and it's funny, I follow this account on Instagram, Producer Grind, and they're a pretty cool account. But there's a lot of hate for the people that use loops. How do you feel about that? Like someone who drags in a loop and maybe is like, do you find that to be lazy, or do you find that like as long as you make it your own, it's okay?
I don't know. That's a tough question because I get this a lot, and it's actually a really big debate on Twitter amongst like electronic producers. But
see that.
I mean, all right. So if you're downloading, all right, let's say you download a sample pack right there, and there's sample packs out there in the electronic world where they'll just give you the stems to a whole like pre-made song that they made.
Oh wow!
And there's like the kick, the bass line, and everything. And usually, I see a lot of people just take those stems and then just mix it kind of differently. They give it kind of a crunchier sound, or like just mix it overall to make it sound different from the original that came in the sample, and then they'll release it. And I consider that like a no. That's like, you didn't even really write anything.
Yeah,
you just kind of drag and drop. But when it comes to loops, I'm not picky at all. Because to be honest, about 97% of my music in the last, I wouldn't say all my new music, but my older music was like one shots and samples from Splice. It really comes down to the producer. If you just have to know how to mix and like make it sound different. And if you can't do that, then I just say avoid it at all costs, because there is people out there that will nitpick and call you out, on it.
Yeah, it's a really good point, man, because you can definitely get down a really dangerous path of like essentially plagiarism, even though it might not, even though you technically have all the permissions to use it and all that sort of stuff. It is kind of like a weird way of like cheating in a way. But I guess you're right. Like if you can use it to your advantage, as long as, I guess my thought too with it, especially if it's like a melodic loop, if you're using like a section and then resampling it to your own melody, like, cause, I've messed around like making like some of my own beats, nothing that I've ever released or will release, but I find that like sometimes I'm like, oh, this is a cool starting point. And then I'll sample a small section and then completely reformulate it. But that initial idea gave me the starting point of the track,
Yeah, that's like that. Did you guys watch that Kanye documentary on Netflix?
Yeah, actually, yeah. Really
like you explaining that is literally like what he was doing back then, with all like the 808s and heartbreaks and graduation and shit. He was making tons and tons of demos, and then he just go back and resample it and just get this crazy, like gritty, nostalgic, like beat. And I love that. It
just
stuff.
ends up turning into like a completely different thing. Which in that sense, it's like, you did what you were supposed to. Like you're being an artist at that point.
Like that's actually the artistry part of it.
Yeah.
What do you think is something that like, if someone's trying to get into EDM, like things that you would tell them to like, as like, avoid this. I put a lot of time into that and it didn't yield me a lot of results. And then put your energy here. this helped me a lot. What do you think? Is there anything that comes to mind?
Yeah, definitely. Just grind and make music, and like the business side actually is like something that people don't really think about. I feel like, especially me, I didn't think about the business side of music until 2-3 years ago, and I've been doing it for 10 years.
Right.
But the business side, sadly, is more important than some of the creative side majority of the time. It just comes, and at the end of the day, it just comes down to branding. So if there's like any up and coming or people that want to get into it right now that are listening, I'd say focus on like branding and just the business aspect.
Okay. Now, what's like obviously business is like a pretty broad term. Is there anything specifically that you could kind of touch on that would actually help someone? And they could be really still pretty generic, but like, you know, someone who's brand new, who's like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll focus on the business side of things. But like, what is that?
Ooh. So for someone brand new business side, I mean, for the business side, as being a new producer in the electronic world, I would say that would be like promotion, because no one's going to know who you are at first. So the business side would just be promotion, reaching out to like certain Spotify playlists or Spotify curators, repost chains on SoundCloud, blogs, just reaching out and, you know, talking and seeing what you can do, or even a PR. Like you could reach out to Relish PR. I use them occasionally. Sometimes they are pretty pricey, but you send them your track 2 weeks prior to release or a month, and then they'll promo it out to all the biggest DJs in the world, and they actually all reply and download and play it out. And
wow.
I feel like that, yeah, that's a great way to go, but you do have to have a coin, like a big coin for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's funny though, even with other things, like other bands, like we know that there's always a return on like spending money on promotion. Like a lot of guys, like I feel like we know a lot of bands that will play and release stuff for years and years, but never actually like pay to promote anything. But it's like, if you're going to do something for like 6-7 years, like at that point, if you want it to catch on, you kind of got to spend some money on like marketing promotion, because otherwise, if you want it to go somewhere, you know. And the thing is, like a lot of these guys do, and it's not like they're doing it for fun, but also like, yeah, they want it to catch on, and it's like, it's kind of a huge miss. Like I know, and like you said, like it is expensive, but it's definitely worth it if that's what you're trying to do. Like it makes a huge difference. Like
yeah, it does.
Up
yes,
does a
with
great
Scooped
job
Up.
with that.
Yeah, Scooped Up. There's this punk band that I record, and he does really great work when it comes to like funny, entertaining videos. But he even says, he's like, I'm not just going to drop a video without any sort of marketing behind it, because then no one was really going to see it. It'll be like my local friends, sure, but you know, paying for like a famous or popular YouTuber who reviews mixes and reviews bands, like, hey, review my, you know, record on your next live stream. Like stuff like that is like really small, but you do that a few times, you add it to a few playlists, and you know, you throw in some ad money for YouTube, and then all of a sudden you got yourself some legitimately good exposure. So yeah, I like that, man, because I agree. I think a lot of people don't think about the business side of a lot of things, and we see that in the acting space too, man. Is like a lot of people are really focused on the acting craft and all that. But then when it comes to time to do just like basic networking and talking to people, people kind of lose out on that.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the up and coming producers too that I see are, they don't reach out enough or build like that relationship with people. Like whether it's checking into someone's Twitch or replying to someone's story. Hey man, hope you're well. You know, like hope we can get on a Zoom call or a Discord channel sometime, or hang out or game. You know, I feel like a lot of producers have missed out on the opportunity, and that's something that's really big with me. If you reach out to me and you're just like, hey, here's my music, and I check it out and I'm like, hey, this is really good. Like, I love this. Like, I'm going to play this out. And you're like, hey, you want to collab? I'm going to be like, I'm going to shut you down. Like, I prefer that relationship over everything. And I feel like a lot of younger producers are not doing that nowadays.
Yeah.
They're trying too quick to just try and go viral on TikTok without putting the work in with the people.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really good point, man. You really do. You can tell when someone's being genuine versus like they're trying to use you as a conduit for themselves, you know? Like, oh yeah, here's my track. Nothing else. No, like, hey, how you doing? How's your stuff? Hey, I heard this song by you. This is great. Yeah, it's funny. I wonder where that comes from. I wonder if it has anything to do with just like only being online recently, like the lack of just like talking to people, you know?
Yeah, it could be. I mean, I feel like a lot of people send out like mass DMs just to get responses. You know
Oh,
what I
that's
mean? As
true
like a method
too,
of
dude.
marketing. It's the Gary V method. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Everybody's just out there slinging.
Yeah.
You know what though? You know what it really is? It's that multi-level marketing style thing.
Yeah.
Hey, haven't heard from you in a while. Got a really special business opportunity for you. You might be interested in. And then they send that same message out to 30 people from their high school.
Actually, I was curious though. When did you first get a manager? And / you said that former manager. Do you have a different one now?
So I do not currently have a manager or agency or booking. I have nothing. I'm solo dolo, all by myself. But I've had two. I had my good friend Anthony Van Atten. He was actually DJ Blend's manager when DJ Blend was like touring the world and being in his prime and going to like Japan, Taiwan, Mexico, LA, Canada. But yeah, I had Anthony for a year or two. He helped me find my identity as like the whole my name's UKnew, but I call my when I announce new music and stuff, I say new, like, are you guys ready for new music, as in like KNEW instead of NEW, because it's kind of like a branding tactic that I use. And Anthony definitely helped me find my identity with that. I still talk to Anthony. He's actually just like he's not doing the manager stuff anymore. He's just he's back in the DJing and just playing local shows in Texas where he lives.
Nice.
And then my old manager, I don't want to say his name, but I was with him for like 2 years. Everything was going good. He got me good connections. He got me a couple shows out of state, but I don't know. He just forgot about me one day and just stopped replying to me and ghosted me. So I was like, all right, it is what it is. But it happens.
Wow.
Oh man,
that's a bummer. Yeah, like go ahead.
Well, no, I was just gonna say, like, is that? But like, would you recommend? Like, it sounds overall though like positive experience from like having a manager in general.
I mean, if you're coming into the electronic music scene with no connections, not much friends, or even producer friends, I recommend trying to get one. But it's going to be very hard to have one, or like try to find a friend that's actually knowledgeable on the scene and have him like just talk with him and be like, hey man, like, you think you could reach out to these people on my behalf, like very professionally, like via email, and like just send him my music, and like basically he's just being your like the face of the brand while you're just making all the like creative side of it.
Yeah.
Right.
But I don't recommend managers, like, unless you're a touring act, like somebody that is constantly in cities every couple of days or doing interviews every so often, then yeah, you need a manager. If you're busy like that, then definitely need a manager. But if you're just someone that's making music day by day and just doing your own thing, you don't need one.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I guess, that was going to be my follow-up question, was going to be like, do you prefer it now, just kind of, as you say, going solo dolo?
I mean, I would love to have one so I can have more connections. But I'd rather not, because it's just a headache at this point.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know. They're very weird. I don't know. Very weird.
Yeah, I kind of get it, dude. Like I have management for acting and stuff, and like it's like she's great because she's able to kind of guide me in like areas I don't know about. She knows the industry more than I do, and so she's been a really big help when it comes to things like that. But that being said, every acting gig that I've ever gotten has been under my own accord. Like she has yet to land me a single gig. I've gotten a few auditions, but they've never really bit, whereas like on my own, I've actually been able to have a ton of progress. So it seems, it does kind of feel like having management in general is kind of like if you're super busy, it's extremely helpful. But if you're not, it's just kind of like an information outlet.
I look at managers as just personal assistants because you're just too busy to keep up with your own bullshit.
Yeah, basically. Right. Somebody who schedules your shit around for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, some of these DJ schedules are pretty fucking insane, and like some of the shit that these managers put their artists through with these schedules is as well insane. Also,
yeah, I imagine it's probably a ton to keep track of, especially if you're doing a bunch of shows and you have to appear on a bunch of things and whatnot. So,
yeah, I mean, I played. The only time I ever had like a busy schedule was when I played San Diego and LA in the same night.
Oh man!
Oh wow, dude! Same night.
Yeah, how does that even?
How do you do that?
Just don't drink too much. Yeah, that was an interesting one. I was staying in LA. I was sleeping there. I got there a day before the show. Woke up at like 5-6 p.m. Drove to LA or to San Diego, which takes like an hour and a half. I got there like an hour before my set, hung out, had a couple drinks, played from 12 to 2. So I played a 2-hour set, and then club closed at 2, and I had to get back to LA to play a set at 4.
Oh my God.
Wow, dude, that's unreal.
I didn't drive. It was a friend of mine. All of us that went down to LA together. We drove back straight to LA, right downtown. I played, the second party I played was with my good friends, R and Trey, Artisan Trends. They throw like illegal underground warehouse parties in LA.
Nice.
Yeah, I love it.
That's so funny. The illegal underground warehouse party reminds me of illegal deep forest parties in Connecticut.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'd like back when I was like late high school, there would always be like randomly someone would find like an open field or like deep in the woods, and you'd get like directions and it would be all sketchy, and then like you go down a path and all of a sudden, boom, it opens up and there's like, literally 150 people there with just like pallets on pallets of wood that people brought. And then my favorite part of the night, as shitty as it sounds though, is the first hint that there might be cops coming.
Yeah.
Because nothing spreads faster at a party like that than the word cop. Like you might as well be spelling it out like you would around a dog instead of saying walk. Yeah. You'd be like, all right, the COP might be on their way. Because if you said cop, dude,
scatters.
I literally watched it happen one time where like someone was like, oh, dude, I think the cops are here, which was the first person. I watched the first person say it. I saw a girl do that. And then it was like by like literally 20 seconds later, people were fucking picking up their shit and like dashing out of there. Dude, I was at this one party. They were filming a music video. They had trucks. They had dancers. They had like people with the flame ball cage things. You ever see that? It looks like an old medieval weapon, but it's just like it's got a flaming ball at the end. There was people doing that shit. All right. And then the whole cops thing happens. And I'm trying to get out and I'm like all blocked in and my car's blocked in and we can't get out because this dumbass's car has fallen into a ditch.
Oh yeah, that's right. I do remember you.
And dude, this one super drunk guy was like, that's it. We're tipping the car. And I was like, dude, the car can't go anywhere. Like, let's just try and like see if we can lift it. And then he was like, are you trying to fight? I'm like, no, dude, I'm trying to get the car out of the hole so we can all leave. Like this guy was just absolutely belligerent, but we eventually got it out. But that night was nuts, man. That was crazy.
Yeah, we have a bunch of dry lake beds and of course desert for miles and miles and miles. And a big thing here is people go out there and just throw raves and they bring up, like you said, tons of pallets to just burn and they just go all night and just rage.
That's dope.
Yeah, I guess the nice thing out there is you don't have to worry about burning down the forest, man.
Yeah.
But, oh no, actually we get fires out here.
Yeah?
Really?
Yeah, because it's very dry. We don't get that much rain out here or have humidity. It's just pure like hot heat. Like,
I guess that makes sense.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't
but
really
on the dry lake beds, you don't have to worry about fires. But when you're going to like Lake Mead, which is like our lake, or you go to like Mount Charleston, then you have to be careful with fires.
Yeah, I guess it literally is a desert. So like your chance of rainfall and actual humidity is pretty low.
Yeah, I just think I don't think of like vegetation when I think of Vegas. So I'm like, well, what's catching on fire? But I guess,
actually, what is catching on fire out there? That's a great question. I just picture cactus or cacti.
Yeah, it's palm trees. that don't get trimmed at all. It's
okay.
houses, believe it or not.
Oh wow.
Tons of houses catching on fire, apartments. We don't really have fires downtown or like on the strip ever. But yeah, it's mainly like just houses and like palm trees and stuff and apartment complexes.
Do you live by the strip? Like, are you like in the center of?
So I'm like in the process of moving. I don't know if you can tell, like if there's like a big echo right now, but my girlfriend just moved into her apartment. We've been here like a week, but I go back between here and my house.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. Is it like, is living in Vegas a little bit of a trip? Because like I picture living in Vegas like someone, you know, living in like Barcelona, you know, or like living directly in the center of New York City. Like that's kind of how I picture living in Vegas. So like, how is that for you?
You have to, like, one thing for sure, you definitely gotta know how to control like yourself, because the city's 24/7. You can go anywhere at any time and get anything you want at any time. Like for instance, I work graveyard at a dispensary that's 24/7.
24/7 dispensary.
That's a thing.
Wow, dude! And restaurants are closing. Restaurants are closing at 9 p.m. here.
Yeah, yeah,
yeah. I work. What's it called? I work 5 days a week, full time, and I work midnight to 8 a.m.
Oh my
Dude,
God,
that's rough, man.
It's all right, not too bad.
Yeah, damn, that's crazy though.
I definitely get some interesting people because I'm on the grave shift.
I was gonna say, like, you get people just like what, like 3-4 a.m. let roll up, and they're just like, "Hey, man."
Oh, I get Las Vegas Boulevard, right, runs all the way to the Speedway, and that's where they host EDC. And Las Vegas Boulevard runs end to end in Vegas across the whole thing. And where I work on a street called Main Street, right off of Las Vegas Boulevard. So when everyone was coming back from EDC on the first like morning and second morning, they were just coming through the drive-thru, and I swear I had like at least 3 or 4 customers that were just rolling tits, and they couldn't even like talk straight to me.
All right, give us the weed. How do you guys do weed sales out there? So Connecticut has recently legalized it recreationally. Mass, it's been recreational for a few years. I mean,
you said drive-through. Like, we don't have drive.
Yeah, I was going to say,
like you got to scan your ID, and then you got to scan it again, and then you got to show it to the person at the
Massachusetts can't wait to put law enforcement everywhere.
Yeah.
There's a cop, like even today, there's like still cops involved. But I remember when it first dropped, there was like cop cars everywhere. There was this one place you had to supposedly get in a van to drive to the actual place. Like you couldn't even drive up. You had to get in. Yeah, allegedly, you had to get in a van that would drive you there. And then there was 2 cops that checked your ID, and then they rechecked your ID once you got in there.
Yeah.
How is it out there? Is it a little bit more like a regular shop?
Yeah, it's like an Apple store of weed. Like legit, some of these stores out here look like Apple stores. It's literally just like you walk in, they'll have marble floors, they'll have LEDs in the ceiling, like in the ceiling too. Not like someone's not hanging out.
Wow.
Yeah, they have really nice dispensaries, and like they'll have all tables, and like there's nothing on the tables. It's like kind of like glass, and like you can look inside, and then they have all the weed in jars. They have the strains, the names, the pricing on it.
Wow.
And then, yeah, it's just like the Apple store of weed. Someone will come, like majority of bud tenders are very good out here. They'll come up once they see a customer. Hey, what are you looking for today? You know, you talk to them, and then they're like, you tell them what you want. They'll put it in on the iPad, and then someone in the back of house, which is what I do. But basically I go pull the order. I find it, I pull it, and then I ring you up. They give me the money as well too. So I ring it up, and then I give it back to them, and they take it, and that's that.
That's crazy, dude. The Apple store of weed. That's hysterical. Yeah. That's so
maybe
cool.
That'll make its way over to the East Coast at some point. Right now, it's like
right now it's very still. It still feels very illegal.
Yeah, it feels like you're just gonna get arrested all of a sudden. If you look at somebody weird. They're like, all right, this guy, get him.
Yeah, get him.
I know it just got passed actually federally. No, not fully passed. It got past the board or something, or the somebody in the government here, but I know it's going up against the Senate next, and if it passes, then that means weed is going to be federally legalized.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. Like I wonder if anybody would be released from Think they'll release people from prison?
I feel like if you're in prison for
Yep.
a weed related crime, you got to be. I mean, come on, they can fucking take those guys out. You know, Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, I would hope.
That's part of the bill actually.
Oh, it is
okay.
good.
Yeah,
I mean,
they actually started releasing up to. I think they're at 42,000 already released.
That's crazy. I
Wow.
wonder if they have like reintegration programs or something. Because like that would suck if you got.
Yeah, if you got
Like-
busted for like, if you were like a big time weed dealer and all you got busted for was a non-violent offense of just carrying too much bud, and so you got years in prison,
Yeah.
and you've been in there for 5-10 years, you come out. I mean, dude, 10 years ago, this whole place was completely different. I mean, we're
Yeah.
talking about 2012.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus, I can't even imagine.
Yeah, it's very wild. You're allowed. So here in Nevada, you're allowed to buy up to an ounce at a time of flour. And then when you buy extracts, it's only an eighth. And then when you buy vapes like carts, it's only like 7 grams.
Okay.
So it does have its limits.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, but I kind of get that. Can you buy infinite alcohol if you walk into an alcohol store?
I actually don't know.
Is there a
Yeah,
limit on that?
yeah. No, there's no limit.
That's
Yeah,
funny.
Okay. Yeah.
Huh.
So I don't know. It's
But
just,
we do have a law. I'm not sure if it's anywhere else. I'm not too familiar with it, but I worked at a convenience store for like 5 months. But something that is like really, really big out here is like if someone walks in and they're obviously intoxicated, you can't sell them anything.
okay.
Oh,
Okay.
Interesting.
I feel like that's
Yeah.
pretty similar. I mean, it's almost like going to a bar and they're just like, we're not going to serve you. Like,
Yeah,
we're gonna
exactly.
We're cutting you off.
Yeah, we're cutting you
Yeah.
off. Huh.
But yeah. But totally not related at all. Do you have any? Do you have like a project you're working on now, or like an album or anything like that you're?
Yeah, what's
you've
in the
been
works?
building up to? Yeah, what do we got? What do we got to look forward to here?
So I'm dropping the KF3 remixes actually. So
Ooh,
my birthday is in July 29th, and
nice.
every year I do like a series, like a little EP where I try to drop 2-3 tracks that I'm like super proud of, that I feel like are like my sound at the moment.
Mm.
And I do like, I try to make sure it's like great branding. I'm trying to make sure the EP is a little better than like my singles, because I am dropping 2-3 tracks at a time.
Right.
Yeah.
I try to make sure the branding's on point and everything is just well like thought out,
Mm.
But yeah, I've done my first one was 2 tracks, KF1, and then KF3 was 2 or 3 years ago, and that was 3 tracks. And then this year, instead of doing like originals again, I wanted to kind of get creative, and I just dropped stems for like some of my popular songs.
Oh,
And
cool.
I didn't really want to ask anybody, but I was just like, I put them online and I was like, hey, if you want to remix these stems and like get like cool cover art and distribution assets, then I got you.
Oh, that's cool. That's really cool, dude.
Actually,
Yeah,
who
so I have a
does your
bunch of
cover art?
friends.
As kind of like as a side note, I saw some. Do you work with somebody specifically? It sounds like you kind of got guys for things, so I don't know.
So some of the cover arts I do myself, actually.
Oh hell
Really?
yeah!
Oh, that's super cool, dude.
Yeah. The only one that the only one that I didn't do was Hit the Club.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's still a lot of like cover art to be done yourself. Have you been doing like, is that all just like I guess like how do you go about that? Like what's your preferred method of like when you go to like create album art?
I'm pretty basic actually. I'm probably gonna get drilled for it, but I get like the basic grunge kind of paper effect and use like a little bit of plastic and some like grungy font and a cool like grungy background, and just kind of like mess with like opacities and different blends and stuff until I get what I want.
That's kind of cool though. There's nothing wrong with that. I feel like as
Yeah.
long as it looks good at the end and you put effort into making it, like it's kind of hard to knock you for it, at the end of the day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah,
Still, but
the design world too is really, really crazy. I'm not sure if you guys do any design work or know anybody that does it, but those designers, they drill you for the smallest things.
Oh, really?
yeah, I've
Yeah.
done some like logo design and stuff like that, and I mess around with like it just really mostly in Photoshop, to be honest. I haven't used any, but like yeah, I've definitely done a lot of editing to stock images in less than legal probably ways. But yeah, it's rough, dude. It's so expensive. Stock anything is like ridiculous. Like it makes me want to make stock photos and shit like that because like I don't know, some of the things I'm like, dude, like $30 for like this little thing, or even fonts. Like fonts are another thing where I don't know. I get it takes a lot of effort to make fonts.
Stock video, like if you go online and like you want just like, you know, like let's say you're making a fitness commercial video for a personal trainer, right? And they just want a stock video of someone like wiping away some sweat. It's like friggin' $100, dude. It's ridiculous. Some of that stock stuff.
Yeah. Actually, if you guys ever need any type of like photos or videos and stuff, my go-to like hidden gem, believe it or not, it's like TikTok. I go on TikTok, I'll hop on TikTok, right? And I'll just put grunge Photoshop in the search bar and I'll just start scrolling, looking for like cool stuff, and whatever catches my eye, I'll watch it. And I have like literally all my likes, majority of my likes on TikTok are just like Photoshop stuff from like people that I follow and that I found. And there's like fonts and like free like overlay packs and PSD packs.
Oh,
and
that's pretty cool.
TikTok is like the way to go for like anything Photoshop related.
That's not a bad idea. I'm gonna have to check that out, especially for like, I don't know, if people are just dropping PSD packs and like fonts and stuff like that. Like, why not? You know?
Yeah, that's actually really cool.
They're dropping like, and they're even dropping like, they're not holding back either. Like you think, oh, they're probably gonna keep like the good ones for themselves or something. No, they're letting it fly. Like all the good fonts are out there.
Wow. Oh yeah. Okay, that's cool. Good to hear. Yeah.
Cool. Well, we've actually been going for about an hour now. I figured, I know time flies, dude. It's kind of crazy how fast it goes. Before we sort of like wrap it up, is there anything that you wanted to talk about, mention, chat about, anything to that degree?
Like something plug your IG and everything too, and all that stuff.
All that stuff. But just in case there was like, you know, like for example, final like let's say we all got like talking and stuff, and you were like, oh shit, I actually have a show coming up, you know, you should go, you know, stuff like that. Like if there's anything we didn't touch on that you would like to talk about.
Let me think about it.
Yeah, sure.
I don't have any shows lined up right now. I've just been focusing on the music stuff.
Yep. And you said that's dropping, I think sometime around your birthday, right?
So yeah. The KF3 remixes, they come out June 17th. There's 5 tracks. Out of the 5, there's 3 of them that are all local. I personally believe they're like the next big producers to come out of Vegas. They're very young too. I think they're only like barely 21, 20.
Oh, wow.
And it's a multi-genre EP, remix EP. There's Jersey Club on it, hardstyle, bass house, tech house, and another tech house song. So it's very
nice. It's a medley.
I want to be able to satisfy, you know, every listener possible. I don't like to put myself in a bubble or a box, you know?
Yeah. That's cool, man. I love that.
I actually have another Insomniac release coming out with my good friend Freefall.
Hey.
It's on their it's going to be on their bigger label in rotation. So I'm really excited for that. It's actually in July. So
let's go.
I have that coming out. I'll be dropping more drum and bass. But yeah, I just like to say if there's any producers listening, feel free to reach out, email me tunes, follow me. We can chop it up. Definitely love to like help out, get feedback where is needed.
Sweet.
Hell yeah. Where can they find you on Instagram?
On Instagram, you can find me at ITSUKNEW, ITSUKNEW. Same with Twitter. Spotify is just UKnew, UKNEW. Same with Apple Music, SoundCloud. Yeah, that's everything.
Awesome, dude. Well, it was really great getting a chance to meet you, sit down a little bit and all that. And yeah, dude, thanks so much for coming on the show.
Yeah, dude, that was
Thank
fun.
you guys for having me.
Can't wait to listen to the EP.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely downloading that as soon as it drops. June 17th, I'm writing that down. All right, dude.
Thank you, guys.
Have a good one.
Have a good one.
Thanks so much for listening to Bone Apple Tea. If you like the show, please give us a follow, like, comment, subscribe, whatever it is. Tell your friends about it. And make sure to follow us on Instagram. That's Bone Apple TV, BoneAppleTEE. on Instagram. Thanks so much.